Before we go too far down the rabbit hole, I would just like to run a few questions past you to see how you think literally or laterally. As we get more knowledgeable, we tend to let that knowledge lead our view of the world, and we begin to look for literal and rational answers. Whereas if we allow ourselves to think laterally, we can often take that fork in the road and think in tangents to mainstream reality. Some of the following questions I'm going to ask you were asked to a group of senior managers, and the same questions were also asked to a group of school children. Now I will leave it up to you to decide which group you think gave the best answers. So what better place to start than at the beginning with question 1. Here we have a lake. It's roughly 200 hectares of water and an average of 23 feet deep. It's perfect for dipping into in the summer, except there is one problem. On this lake there is a fairly unique flower. It's called the violet star water lily. And what makes this unique is the speed at which it reproduces. In fact, it doubles in number every 24 hours. So if you were to look hard enough on the first day of summer, you will always be able to find just one solitary flower, all on its own. But if you came back the very next day, you'd find there is 2, and the day after that, 4, and the day after that, 8. So the question I would like you to answer is, on day 60, the lake is now full of water lilies. There's no more space for swimming, no more space for even more water lilies. So what day was the lake half full? Now remember, you're at day 60. So when was it half full? The next question comes in 4 parts. Part 1 is nice and simple. How do you put an elephant in the fridge? Once again, how do you put an elephant in the fridge? Part 2. This time, how do you put a giraffe in the fridge? How do you put a giraffe in the fridge? Part 3. The lion, who as you know is the king of the jungle, calls a meeting. He demands that everyone in the jungle attends, because he's the king and he can do that, you know. So everyone is there, except for one. Which one? Which animal is not at the meeting? Part 4. You are standing on the bank of a crocodile-infested river. You need to get to the other side to get your picnic. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get to the other side of that crocodile-infested river? Now on to question number 3, which is the last one for now. You have entered a competition to win £1 million. You're through to the final stage, and you're on stage with 4 other people, each of which are also up for the prize. In front of each of you is a bathtub full of water. Now the winner is the first person to empty the bathtub. The only problem is you have all only been given a spoon, a cup and a bucket. So the question is, how do you empty your bathtub the quickest? And remember, you only have a spoon, a cup and a bucket. Take a moment, pause it. Let's get back to the answers then. Question 1. Which day was the lake half full? Hopefully you'd have got day 59. Now I know that some of you would have said day 29 or 30, as you would have thought literally half of 60 is 30. Some of you may even have got 46 or 56 as the answer, as you may have tried to work out some overcomplicated maths for it. But remember, it doubles every day. Question 2. Now there are really a million answers for these questions, but the most straightforward answers are often the best, and that is what I'm going to share with you now. If you've gotten these wrong, that may be because, well, simply you were thinking too literally and allowed your knowledge to take over from your creativity. Part 1. How do you put an elephant in the fridge? This is easy. You open the door and you stick it in. Part 2. How do you put a giraffe in the fridge? Again, easy. You open the door, this time you take the elephant out, and then you put the giraffe in. Part 3. The king of the jungle calls a meeting. Who is not there Easy. The giraffe. You just stuck him in the fridge. Part 4. How do you get across the crocodile-infested river? Well, today you're lucky. You can just swim across it because after all the crocodiles are at the meeting with the lion, aren't they? Some questions just need to be answered. It really is that simple. On to question 3. Do you really want to win that £1 million? If you do, then you will have figured out the quickest way to empty the bath. And that is, you pull out the plug. Easy. How did you do? Did you get them all right? Some right or all wrong? Well, to be honest, in creative thinking, we try to avoid calling anything a wrong answer. We just view them as not right now.